US Highway 380 is one of the most congested highways in the northern portion of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. With an overall expansion project commencing through both Collin and Denton counties, this project has been in the planning phases since 2017 and sorely needed for over a decade. What's going on, everyone? My name is Cool Titanium 68, and after what is it now, a 3-month break, we're going to continue our Argonne Automotive Wednesday series, taking a deeper dive into US Highway 380 with the Farmersville bypass. Now to start with, if you haven't done so already, I would highly recommend you watch some of our other previous videos going over the different corridors along US Highway 380, especially in and around Collin County. I've made a playlist specifically about US Highway 380 as we continue on our ongoing coverage of US Highway 380, and there will probably be some more updates after we've completely covered this, so like at least when they finish the Denton County stuff later this year, definitely make a video on that. Most of these ready to let dates are technically set for either 26 or 27, but if I remember right, that is not true anymore. Comprising about 8.5 miles, this Farmersville bypass is going to start up right at County Road 560, which is right at the end of the Princeton loop, and it'll go all the way around the south side of Farmersville and eventually connect back up onto County Road 68, 660, and 669, right at the Collin-Hunt County border. Even though the main portion of Farmersville sits to the north of the current alignment of US Highway 380, the outward spread of the metro area is starting to approach into Farmersville, not as quickly as I would say is Princeton, because that one is probably going to be built before this one. Now, with the Collin County feasibility study completed in the fall of 2020, it was then time to split the whole 380 widening project into separate corridors in Collin County. Within a few months, the Texas DOT would have its first public meeting for the Farmersville bypass on January 28th, 2021. Again, because of the pandemic, this meeting was entirely virtual. As y'all can see at the very first page here, they changed the in-person meeting to a virtual format only in response to the COVID-19 outbreak. Again, this was January of 2021. They were still like relatively wary about all this. Again, the project limits starts right here at 560 and ends at the border. Currently, at that time, and still today, the existing typical section is 2 12-foot lanes in each direction with a unbarriered left turn area in the middle, with the existing right-of-way being right around 120 to 180 feet between Old McKinney Road and Far Hill Lane, or between 560 to Old McKinney and then Far Hill to 699, whereas Old McKinney Road to Far Hill had a maximum right-of-way of about 150 feet. Now, the plan for this was to build out 4 12 main lanes. That includes an as-needed additional auxiliary lane. So it would be 2 eastbound, 2 westbound with an auxiliary lane. So 14-foot ramp, and then you'd have 4 12-foot frontage roads, 2 eastbound, 2 westbound. Again, the goal will be to minimize impacts to right-of-way. This is not going to be like a really wide thing. It's going to be anywhere between about 322 to about 384 feet. Again, the proposal was to shift this on the south side of Farmersville because there's not really much development as you take a look farther north. And it's also part of the reason why, as we get into it, why this area here, which there is technically supposed to have a new section of the Collin County Outer Loop, which again, we will discuss in a couple weeks. This section here between 121 and then coming eastward to 78, bypassing Blue Ridge and then coming south to 380 is not going to be built for another 20-30 years at a minimum. Now, with this first public meeting, it was expected to have a second public meeting by the fall of 2021. However, I don't know if it's likely due to the pandemic or if it's just because there's just been so much going on through 21 that they had to wait till April of 2022. And my best bet is that they had a lot of the other meetings for the Denton, I think they had just started the Denton County meetings in 2021, so I think they were trying to focus on the feasibility study for that before they went in and did this. Now, from this meeting, the DOT would then refine the alignment to best fit the needs of the public interest with the addition of a third lane in each direction. With this, what they actually did is they switched from a 4-lane highway to what would now be a 6-lane highway. So that would mean 3 eastbound, 3 westbound main lanes with the additional auxiliary lane. So it would be all of that, which, as y'all can see, actually increased the price to about $750 million. I don't remember exactly how much it was in the first one, but still a lot. Now, again, there would be only 2 public meetings. That third one that we're going to talk about is actually going to be from the final environmental assessments. Now, I don't remember if they ever had a thing for this. There's the presentation. So this right here is the presentation from said meeting as it tries to load. Now, what they always do is that they published the draft environmental assessment back in February of 2023, so that coming into March 23rd of 23, they could have their next meeting. And did they really change much of anything? Not really. They basically said, yeah, we're going to have the 6 lanes with a portable concrete barrier. Interesting. And what they did is they kind of updated some of these final designs, especially for areas here. Again, a lot of this is just to prepare for the whole rebuild. Now, luckily enough, the price was actually decreased about $630 million. I believe that was because they had done something. I don't remember exactly what they had done. I don't think I said it. Oh, yeah, I don't think I ever said it. But from that meeting, we do have the most recent schematics, and that which we are going to take a look at today. So this is our first schematic, and again, what they start off is at Government Park Road, and they kind of start it like this because this is where the Princeton loop is going to be off of, so they kind of just like have to work with what they have. But again, what they're going to do here is they're going to build a brand new intersection right here for County Road 560, which means that the main lane's going to be bridged over, and then you're going to have probably 2 or 4, or probably going to have like 2 main lanes here and in each direction underneath with turnarounds. And then right up in this area, there's actually a good amount of stuff that does get relocated in Farmersville. So that is all of this area right around here. A lot of these houses on the north side, I believe, are going to be relocated. About half of the homegrown plants stuff is going to be demolished as well. And I wouldn't be surprised if they actually decide to just move a lot of the stuff down here in preparation for when they build this. Actually, no, they decide to move this up farther north. So it's going to actually come around up here so that they don't bypass, so they don't destroy the homegrown plants. Now, with that, Audie Murphy Parkway will be the new name for Business 380. And instead of coming straight here, it is going to come kind of around here, as y'all can see here, and it'll have its own intersection. It's still already a 4-lane highway-ish, so you're going to have 2 lanes in each direction, that just like that. Just northwest of this intersection, you're going to have the entrance ramp and exit ramps to and from Audie Murphy Parkway, and then again, you'll have the entrance exits to and from Audie Murphy on the south side. So entrance from, and then the eastbound exit there. And then at State Highway 78, they are going to rebuild the intersection here. And as we continue on, actually, that's not the right one. That's not the right one. Did I get 2 of the same ones? That was weird. I did not realize that I had done that. But either way, what's going to happen is it's going to come down here. And then it's just going to come straight south and east, kind of like this. Again, there's not that much development going on around here, so they have the space they can do it. And it's going to take a little bit of a while to get that one done. But if we want to take a look here, so we're right at Elm Creek on Old Josephine. So that is going to be right around here. So it's not going to go so far south like down here. We're going to stay to the north of this intersection of this dam here for South Lake. It will be bridged over the Elm Creek tributary right around here, and I believe there's going to be a new bridge for the railroad here. There's no tributaries here. It's just a lot of like smaller retention ponds of some sort, like to some degrees. But as we go east, there's going to be some bridges going over the drain, kind of like the drainage stuff right around here for for the South Lake Dam. There'll be new interchange for 547. And then as this comes to the northeast, there will be a new intersection for County Road 696. I believe that is not built at this time. No, we got 547, but there is no, but I believe this might be, that's a 697, so there is no 696. Eventually, they will build that. Actually, this will be to the east. So there was supposed to be one up here eventually as they build out 696. But I believe they kind of did this because, like, partially because you can turn around and that's how you'll get across for 697. And then as they get to the Brushy Creek tributary here, they're going to bridge over that. And then they'll also have exits and entrance ramps for Audie Murphy Parkway. And it's going to be really interesting because for the frontage roads, you can either bridge over, because the things here is you either, like from westbound here, you either bridge over Audie Murphy Parkway, and then you don't enter onto 380 until after the Brushy Creek tributary, or again, you can just go straight on Audie Murphy Parkway. Now, here, you're going to have one lane coming from this intersection here to the frontage roads. Or, again, you can turn left, but also this will be the next entrance ramp onto 380. And this is going to kind of stay a little bit farther over. It's going to stay a little bit farther out, and it will bridge over the 699 intersection here. It's a little bit interesting because then you can just turn left, and then you've got all of these lanes to go onto 699, and then it'll eventually connect back onto the Collin-Hunt County line. Now, do I know have I seen what they're going to do going to Hunt County? No, it's something that I might have to figure out. But as we take a look at schematic 2, again, this is nothing much. You got the Elm Creek tributary they're going to bridge over, and that's pretty much it. They're going to bridge over Kansas City Southern Railroad as this kind of shifts from going southeast here and coming from southeast to going straight east. So it's going to come right around here. It looks like it's going to go over 609, but not crossing 558. With that meaning concluding probably sometime around like April of 2024, if I'm correct, they would publish what's known as a finding of no significant impact with their environmental assessments that would come out in November of 2023. And again, as I said before, with a slightly decreased budget of about $630 million, this project alone is actually not in the planned mobility projects for this project. So you've got a bunch of other projects. So the Princeton Loop is actually on the planned mobility project, which if you guys see here, all of these, so segments 3, 4, and 5. So this is all different CSJ projects. They're only going to get this amount of money. Now, I believe, and actually, that is kind of interesting. So the section going over, what's the name of this? Yeah, so the section going over Lake Lavon is fully funded, but everything else is unfunded. Now, if we were to take a look at the design phase, which is pretty much what everything else is going to be on, again, as I've said before, I doubt these are going to be done for 26. A lot of these segments, so 14 through 17, this is all the stuff for Frisco and McKinney. And as you can kind of tell, 14, 15, 16, 17. So Loop 17, so the one going around McKinney is actually set for September of 29. Is it funded? I'm not sure. But everything else, so along 380, set for 2033. This section actually is just widening from 4 to 6 lanes. But then 2021, 22, these are all set for 2033. So again, as we've probably seen, a lot of these projects in and around US Highway 380 are not actually set till like 2033, just because, yes, I would believe that the bypass around McKinney is going to be the first one to come out. It is probably going to take that long of a time, just because right now they have to find the funding for it. Unless if we get a third big source of funding, I doubt that we're going to see any of these projects in Collin County start before 2030. With that, again, I hope you guys liked this video. I know it's been several months since I've last made a new video. I am sorry about that. I've been focusing on school and just work overall. So I'm going to be working on trying to get more of these videos out, especially with school being done. And yes, I'm doing some work during the summer, but it's not going to be as busy as it was during the spring. With that, I hope you guys liked the video. Make sure you guys like and subscribe down below as well. And if you don't want to miss any future automotive videos or even our mountain bike videos, as it hopefully starts to dry up soon, I'll be posting more of that. Just make sure you guys hit that bell icon so that you guys are notified when these videos drop on their respective days. With that, again, I hope to see you all next week. Peace.